Namo Buddhaya. Good evening. Welcome to Buddha Dhamma TV. I am Stella Lim from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. As is our cherished tradition, we commence our Buddha Dhamma TV program by invoking blessings upon all beings across the universe, wishing them good health, happiness, and a serene environment for their daily lives. Now, to begin with, here is Venerable Upalavana to recite the first verse of Jaya Mangala Gata, stanzas of great joyous victory.
Bahung sahasnsa mabhinim mitasayu dhantan girimekhalang udita ghora sasena marang danadi dhamma vidina jitva munindo tang tejasa bhavatu te jaya mangalani.
Many people around the world do practice meditation. Some want to know how to overcome distractions in meditation, if there are any. Here is Professor Bante Sivali to talk about distractions in meditation.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening. Today I'm going to talk on the topic distractions in our meditation. Many people, they have asked me this question on several occasions. Therefore, I thought of addressing this concern. Distractions in our meditation. Indeed, there are consequences when we do not follow the advice of the precepts. When we break a precept, one precept, certain distractions or hindrances, the Pali word is nivarana, come up and bother our meditation. And these can come up to disturb us in our life too. There are 5 distractions or hindrances or barriers to be aware of. We need to be aware of. They are lust, greed, and preoccupation with attachment to something. So the lust. The second is the hatred. It will, and the preoccupation with the hatred and aversion towards something. Then the third is sloth and torpor. Sleepy, dull mind bothering us concerning something we did in the past. Restlessness, guilt, or remorse including not being able to sleep well due to something we personally regret. Fifth is a doubt about the way you are doing meditation or about life in general. The doubt about the way we are doing meditation rather than telling you that we are doing meditation or about life in general. These are the distractions that keep us from making progress in our meditation. The more we follow the precepts in every aspect of our lives, the less often these distractions will bother us. We will make sure and we will make better progress in our meditation, and life will become easier. When we do progress in our meditation, the life will become easier. As we are learning the meditation more and more, there will be opportunities to experience this kind of uplifted mind, to be calmer, happier, and better, more content. Life gets lighter and smiles will happen more often, and you will look joyful. That's how we experience the cessation of suffering. It becomes interesting to observe, and there is a real freedom in what we see and understand. The more we can practice smiling and laughing with our own mind, the more we will have joy arise in our life, and the easier it is to see when our mind becomes upset. It is easier to recognize when our mind becomes heavy and to let go earlier in the process, because we now see how we are causing our own pain. Here is a simple example. Suppose I come up and start yelling at you, and you say, I am causing you suffering. I am causing you suffering. Is this true? No. In truth, it is just yelling. You are causing the suffering to yourself by personally disliking it and then resisting it and getting caught in all kinds of thoughts and about it. Try to think what I am telling. By taking my suffering and making it yours personally, by hating that feeling and by looking at it with aversion, then your restless mind begins to blame me for your pain. See how this works? When the Buddha gave his first discourse, he talked about the Eightfold Path. Eightfold Path. Very deeply, and he said that this is the middle way to find relief from suffering. The Eightfold Path usually has a lot of right this and right that. It doesn't seem like harmony to many, because if something is right, then something is wrong there too. That means that everything is black or white. That's a bit extreme, because actually there is very little in our life that is either black or white. There is a lot of gray there too, not necessarily dark or clear. Let us review the Noble Eightfold Path. Just have a look at it. The Noble Eightfold Path also functions as a whole. If you visualize a fan with 8 folds in it, you will better understand how this is a single practice composed of 8 folds operating in balance together. Are we move along with this? As we move along this, you will come to understand my meaning here. Therefore, instead of right view or right understanding, almost everyone calls these folds within this path harmonious. Together they will lead us to perfect harmony and understanding. Let's start at the beginning. What is harmonious perspective? The first fold of Eightfold Path is called harmonious perspective. Samma Ditti, harmonious perspective. This means choosing to observe what is happening in life through an impersonal perspective. For example, somebody comes up to you and they say they have a lot of anger, and they throw their anger at you. They say that we are angry, and they throw their anger at you. What is your natural inclination? What is it? To take their anger and make it your anger, and then to throw it back at them. Is this right? Is this right? Now, you are at war. You are fighting and causing yourself a lot of suffering. When you are fighting and they talk, there is another thing that happens. you are talking. They are talking. We don't hear what each other says. We don't hear. We don't want to pay attention to hear what each other says. We only know what we said and how right we are and how wrong they were. This is all what we hear. When they walk away, what do you think about what they said? What I said, what I should have said. I'm right and they're wrong. Then a little while later, just like it was on a tape deck, what happens again? Same thing happens. We are thinking again about what they said, what I said, what I should have said. Now, this is a mind that has attachment in it. Attachment to what? Attachment to what? It is an attachment to these thoughts and feelings as being mine personally. Mine personally. Every time you think that the thoughts and feelings that arise are yours, your mind has delusion in it. Mind is confused. You are taking things personally and you are causing yourself pain. You are causing yourself pain. Here is something really interesting. One of the major illnesses in this country right now is depression. I mean to say in this country means Canada or in America or in Europe or in general in the whole world. I can tell you exactly how depression arises. One of the major illnesses in the country, in the world right now is depression. It is a fact. According to the Health Organization, by 2020, depression will be the second largest disability in industrial nation. It was not will be, it was. Largest. How do we manage? How do we manage this? Depression, I can tell you exactly how depression arises. Can tell you exactly how we need to manage it. If you fail to do that, then it's going to be a real problem. Here is how it works. When depression arises, what actually happens in our mind? We have a feeling arise and it is painful, and then our mind grabs onto that and says, I don't like that. Now the I like it mind and I don't like it mind is craving. So two things. I don't like that. Now the I like it mind and the I don't like it mind is craving. Understanding this can truly set you free. Truly can set you free. It can open the door to choice. In Buddhism, volition means your will to choose whether to crave or not to crave. Once you understand how things work, that becomes your question. Will I take things personally or not? You are learning here what to do. What to do. Now, right after that, there is this tension that comes up. Then there are all of the thoughts and all of the opinions, all of the ideas, all of the concepts about why this feeling came up. Personal habitual tendency, your usual way of looking at the world, gets more involved with that. What are you actually trying to do when a painful feeling arises? When a painful feeling arises. There are 5 aggregates of a human being. To understand clearly how this depression takes hold and how to manage it, we have to understand first the 5 aggregates that make up a human being. Each being is composed of 5 aggregates that make up our body-mind process. You have physical body, or which call in Pali language rupa, physical body, a form. There is feeling, that's called Vedana in Pali language, feeling. Feeling is pleasant, painful, or neither pleasant nor painful. So feeling has 2 aspects, pleasant feeling, a painful feeling, or neither pleasant nor painful. We have perceptions. Perception is the part of mind that names things. Perception, a part of the mind that names things, whatever come to be seen, whatever come to be felt. You see this, it is a red rose. Perception is the part of our mind that puts that name on that which is seen, and it has memory involved with it. Then there's a memory involved there. You have thoughts, what we call sankhara in Pali, and you have consciousness, vijnana in Pali language, which cognizes your experience in life. These are the 5 aggregates. When a painful feeling arises, our habitual tendency is to try to think that feeling away. But the more you try to think the feeling away, the bigger and more intense that feeling becomes. You get more depressed because you are trying to control a feeling with your thoughts. But thoughts are one thing and feeling is something else. Thoughts are one thing and feeling is something else. Never the two shall meet. Now, what should you do first to solve this suffering? What about shifting our perspective? Shifting perspective. Earlier, I was telling you just what you do when a painful sensation arises while you are meditating. Earlier I was telling, in a previous talk I think, about what you do when a painful sensation arises while you are meditating. I told you first to let go of the thoughts. To let go of the thoughts. Don't become personally involved with that content of a thought. That is not important at all. How a thought arises is what is more important to realize. To realize how the thought arises. That is what is most important. Not the content of thought. To see how thoughts work, you let the thought arise without getting personally involved with it. Then you relax the tightness caused by that distraction because mind's attention moved over to it. Just see the feeling for what it really is. It is just a painful feeling. It is true. It's painful. But it's okay for a painful feeling to be there. It has to be okay. Because that is the truth. When a painful feeling arises, it is there. You cannot escape. You know it is there. You are aware. It has to be okay. It is there. You simply allow this space for that painful feeling to be there and relax. Then you come back to your smile and wishing happiness for someone. The more you do this, the less your mind will become distracted. Until finally, depression does not arise so often, or it stops altogether because now you know how it works. You know how it works because you are aware how it arises. And it sits there. It sits there. And you are aware of that too. And now you try to address it. This is how you shift your perspective about what is going on. You let go of personal concern for it. You then begin to realize how impersonally thoughts arise. This isn't a maybe. It cannot be a maybe. If you follow through and do this each time a distracting thought arises, this is how it works. Most of the time, that's how it works. It only takes practice. You are retrain mind, and you must practice smiling as you do this. Practice smiling as you do this. Continue to smile. It is good to practice light laughing. Light laughing. Every time you thought that you feel, I know one thing, every time you laugh at how crazy your mind is, you are not crazy anymore, because now you know how mind really works. And this opens the way for you to have some control for personal management of many kinds of disturbing emotions. All kinds of emotions are there, but at least this will help you to some control for personal management of disturbing emotions. So this is how we can shift our perspective from a tight observation of I am that distraction. I am that distraction. It's not distraction coming from outside. I am the creator of this distraction. To an observation of, oh, it is only that. You move from tightness to letting go. From tightness to letting go. Can you see how if mind's attention starts that kind of observation and your mind tightens around it, that you wind up getting a headache? I don't get headaches anymore. I haven't had one in many years now. They don't seem to happen much anymore. The reason is because whenever I notice any tightness starting to come up, I relax and smile right then. Then I don't develop a headache. Do I need to take an aspirin? Or Tylenol? Or any other indication? Do I need? No need to anymore. No need. The first step is in changing your perspective of the world around you, is to just begin practicing smiling into everything and noticing the difference of how this feels in mind and in body. Here is one more example for you. I might come to you with a flower. Let's say it's a rose. I will give it to you when you're in a happy mood. When you are in happy mood, I give a rose. What do you see? The rose is very beautiful and it smells great and the color is wonderful. The color is wonderful. Now if I take that flower away and I come back and give it to you when you are in an unhappy mood, what will you see? You see the thorns. You see the thorns rather than the flower. How it hurts you and how you don't take it. What's different here? The flower is still the same thing. It's a flower. It's a red rose. It is just your perspective that just changed. And the perspective that just changed. The flower remains the same. Fragrance is there, color, beauty is there, everything is there without any change. It is just perspective that just changed. The Buddha has spent 45 years trying to show people how to have an uplifted mind. How to have a contented mind. How to have a mind that was free from suffering, pain, remorse. The more you smile, the more you laugh into things, the easier it is to change your perspective. The problem is within you, the solution also within you. The problem is with us, the solution is also within us. Not something coming from outside, from the planet. It is within us. By changing your perspective, what you are doing is changing the image you hold in your mind of being unhappy to an image of being happy. Changing the image you hold in your mind of being unhappy to an image of being happy. When we change our perspective like this, we are shifting into a higher level of understanding. Higher level of understanding. Then what is this harmonious imaging? We talk about imaging. What is it? This second fold of the eightfold path is called harmonious imaging. This concerns the image you hold in your mind. We have a choice about what we keep in our mind. It's about what we keep in our mind. In Buddhism, choice is called volition. Choice is called volition. The kind of image you keep in your mind determines a lot. It determines a lot. What's difference here? What's difference here? The flower is still the same thing. It is a flower. We call rose. It is a rose. It is just your perspective that just changed. The perspective. The Buddha spent 45 years trying to show people how to have an uplifted mind. By changing your perspective, what you are doing is changing the image. So when we change our perspective like this, we are shifting into a higher level of understanding. What is harmonious imaging? The second fold of the eightfold path is called harmonious imaging. Concerns the image you hold in your mind. We have a choice about what we keep in our mind. As I already mentioned, choice is yours, and choice is called volition in Buddhism. Whatever we keep in our mind determines a lot. What we think and ponder on, that becomes the inclination of our mind. What kind of image we hold in our mind, is that image in harmony with our life. We need to attend to the right effort and keep wholesome images going so that we can have more wholesome mind states all the time, no matter what we are doing. Keeping harmonious imaging going leads us to change the inclination of our mind. This is why right effort is so important for retraining the mind's habitual inclination towards image in our mind. Then comes what is harmonious communication. The third fold of the eightfold path is called harmonious communication. This is used to be known as right speech. But today it is popularly known as a little further with this than just verbal speech. There is more to communication than speech. Isn't there? Isn't there? More to communication than speech. What do we communicate with most often? Ourselves? That's right. Who do we communicate with? Very often, ourselves. That's right. The Buddha was including all kinds of communication that you have with yourself and others. Yourself and others. How do we think, speak, or move our bodies to communicate? A bodily communication. Think about it. How many people are hard on themselves at some point or another in life? We all have been. I have been too. How many people are critical of the way they do things? How about you? How many people cause them suffering because of their own thoughts, opinions, and ideas? We all do this at some time in our life without identifying it when it's happening. No time to identify. Harmonious communication means that you have to love yourself before you can truly love others. Love yourself before you love others. You are with yourself more than you are with anybody else. When you smile or you laugh, you are learning how to change your communication with yourself so you can have an uplifted mind, and that leads to freedom from suffering. This leads to true happiness. You cannot give to others what you do not have for yourself. You can only give what you have, but you cannot give something to others what you don't have for yourself. It is that simple. What is harmonious movement? After communication, it's a movement. What is harmonious movement? The fourth fold in the eightfold path. Many these days use the term harmonious. Movement, which actually means watching the movement of mind's attention. Instead of jerking your mind around as various reactions occur. It means not causing undue tensions to arise in our mind and body, but rather being in harmony with how mind's attention moves. Developing a mind that responds instead of reacting to life is a very good project. Responding instead of reacting to life is a very good thing to be done. The first step is learning what it feels like to unclutter mind and open up some space for new creative ways to respond to life in a more peaceful way. And your practice will support this opening of mind as it develops. Then what is harmonious lifestyle? The fifth fold in the eightfold path has always been called right livelihood, we also call. But this seemed too basic an interpretation. It had been explained to mean don't personally kill any being, don't deal in any poisons, and don't take any slaves or sell them. However, the first discourse given by the Buddha about this path was given to the other ascetics who had been practicing with the Buddha before his actual awakening for some years. They had been practicing as pure a way of life as possible, separately. Because of this, it does not seem logical to present the idea of livelihood to these ascetics using this limited interpretation. This harmonious lifestyle, which seems to be closer to what it meant in reference to meditation. It means creating a lifestyle where you are in harmony with yourself and with everyone around you all the time. You choose living in this way because, or we choose living in this way because it causes us and other people around us to have an uplifted mind. In lay life, harmonious lifestyle also has to do with setting up your living and working space to help support your efforts to progress. What it means in reference to meditation, it means creating a lifestyle where you are in harmony with yourself and with everyone around you all the time. You choose living in this way because it causes you and other people around you to have an uplifted mind. To have an uplifted mind. In lay life, harmonious lifestyle also has to do with setting up of our living and working space to help support our efforts to progress on the path of freedom or liberation. We try to set up areas where we can keep our meditation going at home and at work all the time. That way you can counter training. Right? That way you can. Why? It is because it is the way to continue to train and purifying your mind. Then what is the harmonious practice? The sixth fold of the eightfold path is harmonious practice. The same as right effort. We already discussed what right effort was. Perhaps you noticed that there were right efforts as I demonstrated it, using the terms we fulfill right effort. One of the hottest topics for discussion and critical analysis in Asian Buddhist countries today comes to us in the form of a question. Is there a practical Buddhism for today that young and old people alike can use all the time in this modern world or not? This is a very good question. It's timely. It's a very nice question. And it is the question of the day. Is there a practical Buddhism that both young and old alike, can use all the time in this modern world? That's a good question. I like it. Young people want to know what Buddhism has to offer them. A practical assistance for their daily life at home, in school, and in business. They seek help in this modern, fast-moving age of technology. When clearly understood, can Buddhism become woven once again into the fabric of modern life on a daily basis? If you can do this, then Buddhism immediately becomes priceless again and will survive for many more generations to come. Many more generations to come. When we begin to practice this meditation, we see that there is a way we can apply the teachings all the time and review our own perfect Dhamma clothes. Then we will realize why in the beginning this teaching was considered to be priceless. Priceless. The system of meditation we have been talking about today is still easy to understand and immediately effective. That's why we want to reclaim and preserve it for the future and use it in right now. Tranquil wisdom, insight, meditation, all these are the relief forms. Suffering little by little, step by step, as we practice, the system as right effort or right striving. Right effort is a mnemonic system, 6 steps which neatly remind us how to keep the 4 steps of right effort going so we can keep purifying our mind all the time. To keep our mind purified all the time. It's logical to assume that we cannot retrain mind if we just do our practice a couple of times a week, or only on isolated retreats once in a while, not once in a blue moon. If we are to discover the true nature of everything and see things very clearly, we need to work at retraining mind systematically. Retrain systematically. All the time. Not once in a while. All the time. This is the only way to change bad habits into wholesome mind states and new lighter tendencies. New lighter tendencies. The system of meditation that does that, there are 6 steps in the cycle. Let's look at how to do it. How to do it. A simple technique lesson. How to do it. Recognize whenever mind gets distracted from an object. Tightness left in the head, body and mind. Is that? Recognize first when your mind gets distracted from your meditation. The meditation that you are presently doing. And release that distraction. Then relax all tension and tightness left in the head or body and mind. So release it. Then gently smile. Release and relax. 2 things. Then gently smile. And return to your object. Because you are distracted from your object, now what happens? You recognize and you release it. Then relax and gently smile, observing what has happened. And return to your object of meditation or to your task you are doing in daily life. If you are pulled away, then stay on your object of meditation. As long as you can own your tasks and repeat these cycles as needed. But only if you are pulled away again. Only if you are pulled away again. We call these steps recognize, release, relax, re-smile, and return and repeat. Because these are 6 R's we call, because recognize R, release R, relax R, re-smile R, return R, repeat R. We call 6 R's. Easy to recognize, release, relax, re-smile, return and repeat. So it is an easy way to keep in mind, in memory. You know, I also have been to a lot of meditation retreats in a not large way. And I have been caught up, like anybody else, being too serious and trying too hard to make a progress. Then I hit the wall too. Fourth step is, in the 6 R's, is re-smile. Why do you need to re-smile? Why? Because when you put in the wrong kind of effort, you will never significantly make progress. You will never make significantly progress. With your meditation, to see real changes in your daily life. Your daily life. So, the best thing is, you will always have similar problems arise in your meditation and life. The meditation is supposed to be fun. It is supposed to be uplifting. Life is supposed to be fun. It is not supposed to be so heavy. I can remember when someone told me I could not have fun anymore in life because I was now an adult and I have to be serious all the time. Can you? The truth is that conversation probably never happened. If it never happened, no one ever said that directly to you. More likely, you and I just copied what adults were 78 doing around us. Adults who were old. We repeated what they did and we just didn't know any better. They were in trouble and getting away too serious about things and probably built up a lot of stress and can let it around with them. It may have forgotten so very heavy that they felt they could not change. But the truth is that we can change. If we can learn to identify a heavy mind, we can change. We can then lighten up, remember to smile more. That is the first step to letting go and coming alive again. You just need to remember that. Meditation is life. Life is meditation. As long as you practice meditation, you are practicing a more harmonious life. Harmonious observation. The sixth fold of the eightfold path is right mindfulness, or what like to call harmonious observation. Mindfulness is your non-judgmental observation skill used to see clearly how things work. Mindfulness remembers to observe what is happening in the present moment. How mind's attention moves. And to remember what to do when mind's attention is pulled away from your object of meditation. Perfected mindfulness is non-judgmental observation. It is very balanced, but it doesn't change anything. Perfected mindfulness is non-judgmental observation. It's very well balanced. It doesn't do anything. This observation is just observes how mind's attention impersonally moves in any present moment. Keeping right or harmonious practice going by using these 6 R's. I said 6 R's. You remember, recognize, release, relax, re-smile, return and repeat is what supports the significant change that results from a good meditation practice. May you all be well and happy.
The late Venerable Sasana Depika Kanti Kema from the United States was a devoted Buddhist nun who spent over 23 years assisting others in finding relief from suffering and cultivating happiness. She held a close friendship with Buddha Dhamma TV and shared a heartfelt message of appreciation shortly before her untimely passing in Budapest, Hungary. We express our sincere gratitude to the late Venerable Sasana Depika Kanti Kema for her message. May she attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. You can watch her video message here.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Honor to him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Good morning. My name is Sasana Dipika Venerable Kanti Kema. I come from the Dhammasukha Meditation Center in Annapolis, Missouri, and I also support the United International Buddha Dhamma Society. Now, I'm coming to see you this morning because I was asked by Professor Sivali, the founder of the Bodhidharma Society, to help announce and launch a wonderful gift for all of the nuns in the Buddhist traditions, the Theravada, the Mahayana, and the Vajrayana traditions in the world. And this gift is very special. The Bodhidharma Society has built a Bodhidharma channel for monks and nuns to talk about Dhamma on. But also, he and I see the importance also for the nuns and bhikkhunis of the world to have their own special channel. On that channel, they can tell once again the stories and the sacrifices that the first nuns made in the time of the Buddha. Their sacrifices were equal to those of their male counterparts. And once the order was established, and they initially were joined by the well-to-do in society, the queens and wives of wealthy merchants, the women and beauty queens of the country, and also from all classes of women, irregardless of caste or tradition. They were free to come in to this Buddhist training. These women achieved their spiritual quests on an equal level to their male counterparts and reached the attainments in similar ways. They had the discipline and determination to learn the Dhamma clearly enough and were capable of explaining it to others. And because of that and the work they did once they were enlightened, they were able to increase the number of people in the Buddhist dispensation who learned the truth of suffering and the cessation of suffering. Now, this is a very important time for us. We've done a lot of work as bhikkhunis in many traditions, in many ways, had many conferences about many things, but this platform is a special place and opportunity for you to come together and share what has been successful in each of your traditions with each other that enabled people to learn the Dhamma more easily. We have an opportunity here to demonstrate real cooperation, and together we can expand the Buddhist dispensation throughout this century. I encourage you to become involved with this platform that is being given to you on the internet and turn in works that exemplify what Buddhists have brought to the world with the teaching, with art, with musical ways to remember the parts that we need to remember so that our reactions as human beings begin to change as we reshape our minds and respond more often with compassion, with forgiveness, with loving kindness and determination to bring peace into the world. The Buddha taught us about the suffering and the cause, which was the craving and clinging, and he also gave us the Eightfold Path to support us as we learned how to live his teaching. And as we did that, within it is right effort. We need to take a hard look at that because that holds the secret to a small practice with 4 steps that anyone can use in lay life and be taught very easily to relieve their suffering. And everyone needs relief right now. We shouldn't be down about what's happened with the COVID virus. We should stand fast and remember anicca. Everything's changing, and it will change for the better soon. So please use this platform. Please support the Bodhidharma Society in their effort to give this to the bhikkhunis of the world. Thank you. May suffering ones be suffering free and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddhist dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
मारातिरेक माभियुन् जित सम्ब रात्तिं घोरं पना लवक मक्ख मातन्ध यक्खं खन्ति सुदन्त विधिना जितवा मुनिन्दो तं तेजसा भवतु ते जयमङ्गलानि
Well, that's all for today. If you have any concerns or questions, please write to us at info as in INFO at Buddha Dhamma TV, one word, I shall spell it out, BUDDHA D-H-A, Dharma, DHARMATV.com. So it's info at Buddha Dharma TV, Buddha Dharma TV is in one word, .com. Thank you for watching the program, and I am sure that many would benefit from Buddha Dharma TV programs. Good night. Namo Buddhaya.